Hey guys, welcome to another space shooter development. Yeah, I think that's what I named it before. It's been a while. I haven't been on here. I apologize. As you guys know, some of you guys, I already mentioned what I'm going through lately, and I mentioned that in one of my blogs. So I'm not gonna bring it up here. So if you're interested, go and watch it. But anyways, because of that reason, I haven't been able to work on my project as much as I wanted. But I was touching it once in a while here and there and all that kind of stuff. And now, recently in the past month, I've been touching it a lot more. So I wanted to make a video and show you guys where this uh, um space shooter game or I don't know development is going at the moment. I don't have like a complete I don't have a huge thing to show you because most of it was more internal updates and making performance and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was what I was working on. So let's see what I wanted to talk to you about first. So so we can talk to you about engine update about my engine. Um, so I updated it. Not the engine. Well, I have, but what I want to talk about is a little bit different. It more has to do more like directories and all that kind of stuff, and files and locations and all that kind of stuff. So beforehand, I probably should have opened it up. Give me a second to open it up. Where is that? So before, how my engine files were being at was like I had this GSR engine GL was basically my engine. It's my core engine, I guess you could call it. And my space shooter project is in here. So had to keep going back and forth in here. I mean, each one has its own stuff, debug, release, and has its own solution. And it has all the files that it has, right? All the headers, all the release, all the sources, all the libs for PNG and JPEGs, Fmod, and all that kind of stuff. It had all of these stuff in here, which was kind of crazy sometimes because everything that I included in this engine, all the DLLs that I had to include, I also had to include in here. And it was so crazy trying to include everything in here and having its own project. This one has its own solution, all kind of stuff. So what I did instead, I updated my engine a little, or the way it was being handled. So this is how it's being handled now, where I have one directory, just it's inside IG, where it includes just one debug and release. I haven't built the release version of this engine yet. So, but when I build the release version of it, the other release can be included in here. Now, this is my core, my engine core. Before it was called GSR Engine GL, I think it was called. Now I just called it IG Core. And basically, this is all my engine stuff. See, it's so simple. Just the project, the BCX project, and all my files, my header files, and all my CPP files are located in here. Let's see anything else in here. The debug doesn't have anything in there at the moment. And then in my Space Shooter project, which is so simple than it was before. You saw all those files that was inside Space Shooter. Include all of this stuff, and then within that it has all of this stuff. And now just the model shaders, textures, and then just all the source files that I have for that Space Shooter project. And that's about it. And all of my debug stuff, all the DLLs, all are included in here for debug and release. So they're all located just in one place, which is awesome, which I like. I actually like the way I did it. It took me a while to do it. It took me maybe a couple hours actually, but just trying to connect everything and link it up correctly is kind of lame with Visual Studio, but once you get it, it's awesome. And all the dependencies, so it's just Fmod glue. So all of them are located in one area. And that's awesome. I like it already. It only has one solution, which I mean it depends on you if you want to have multiple solutions or not. But I actually just like it this way, and it's a lot better, and it's a lot more cleaner and a lot much more manageable, I guess you could call it. So I'm glad I got that thing over with. I just have to commit it to my SBN, otherwise it will suck if it will suck if I lose that project because I had to redo it all over again. I apologize if there's any music in the background, by the way. I know there's a little music going on and some noises going on outside, but if it does bleed in through the audio, I apologize. But yeah, that's my directory, updated my directory, that's one way. I did some optimizations with my engine as well. This is actually my engine stuff, So I did some optimizations with it with functions. I had to go through all my files, all my header files and CPP files for all my engine, and make sure I was calling the functions correctly, all the parameters correctly. Because before I was passing by value every single thing that I passed in my functions, and that's not right. Well, that can suck sometimes because it does copy it, right? If you're just passing by value, but there's certain situations it's better off if you pass it by reference instead. So as long as it's not ends, floats, and all this double stuff like the regular, if it's just like customized, like classes and all that kind of stuff, and if you're not like updating the, you're not like modifying the class, then you should pass it by reference. Or certain situations where you need to pass it by reference and all that kind of stuff. So I did that because it does copy it, especially if it's a string. So you want to, if you're not modifying the string, then you just pass it by reference because you don't want to create another copy of it, and that can lower performance, especially if you can be calling it a lot. And another thing is also shader uniforms. Before I actually saved up all the uniforms locations into a list or a vector and saved it up. So when I need to call it, and it already knows where location is at. Before I kept calling it over and over, and that can lower performance as well. So make sure you cache in all the uniforms correctly. And that's about it about my engine update optimizations and stuff. So let me show you how it looks now, because the rest of them is just the rest of the things I need to talk to you is with the game. Oh wait, hold on. I did not want to do that just yet. Okay, there we go. So it looks a little bit different now, as you can see. I updated a lot of different things with this game. As you can see, the skybox is a little bit different now. I completely changed it. As you can see, an enemy passed by right now. There's some enemies going on here, or NPCs, because they're not really enemies at the moment. But I'll be talking about that later on. But before, I want to talk about some other stuff first. So I updated optimizations with a lot of different things. I could shoot a lot of bullets now. Before I couldn't. I kept lagging a whole bunch of times, and I couldn't figure out what the issue was. I couldn't figure out what the issue was. And the same thing with the asteroids, because asteroids and bullets, they're all inside they all being managed inside a render instance manager. And basically what that means is basically they're using the GL draw instance, yeah. So, and that helps out when you have a lot of the same objects or entities. It's good to call a draw instance instead. So bullets and asteroids are a draw instance because they all have the same stuff going on at the moment. So that's what I was doing, but there was I had to optimize that manager a little bit different because it was a little bit lagging. So I updated it, optimized it a little bit better, and that fixed a little bit of the bullets. So I was able to shoot a lot more. There was still an issue with point lights because every single bullet creates a point light. As you can see, all these bullets creates point lights. Because if I go to let's see, where's a nearby asteroid? I see it lights on my player, and it lights up all asteroids as well. So every bullet creates a point light, and that was causing a little bit of issue when it came to shaders, because the way I was doing shaders is that every time he called shader begin, it also initialized all my point lights, and there was certain situations where it was calling it multiple times than it should have, and I fixed that issue. And once I fix that issue, because just make sure you only call it once. You don't want to call it multiple times for something that you don't need anymore, right? Because every time my engine consists of components. It's a component system, so every time it ends up drawing, it will call shader begin. And inside that shader begin, it actually initialized all my point lights. It went through all my point lights, so it's looping through all the point lights. So it's looping through all of these point lights. So for every object on the screen, it was looping through it, So what I did is I created a rendering engine that would just manage all my rendering, and inside that I would call shader begin and then draw my stuff, everything that needed to be drawn within that shader, and if one of them needed a different shader, then it will update it. And so that's what I did, and once I did that, it fixed us all this optimization, so I was able to draw a whole bunch of bullets now, which is awesome, and I love it, and I like that. I updated particle systems. As you can see, optimized them. I had an issue with them. I actually never mentioned this to you guys, but I actually started using CUDA with my particle engine, and it was okay at first until I started shooting a whole bunch of asteroids, and that created issues. Because when it comes to CUDA, you actually have to like copy all the data from device to host and host to device. You have to keep doing that every single time. And as you can see, all my exhaust consists of a particle system. So each one has its own CUDA thing that I was doing. And my bullets also. So when I shoot an asteroid, I don't think this can. Oh yeah, when it shoots an asteroid, it creates a particle system. So each one contains 3 particle systems. All of this contains particle systems, and asteroid contains particle systems as well. So I kept doing that with CUDA, and it was an issue with it, and I couldn't understand what the issue was. So, I mean, I guess it was because of the main copy, and all that copying has to do from host to device and device to host. So instead, I went to the CPU side of it, and that fixed it. It's not lagging at the moment, which is awesome. So that's what I was. I updated the particle system, which is a lot cool. It actually has a glow effect on it as well. It has FBOs, I mean post-processing effects as well. The bullets creates a glowing effect as well, and particles as well, the exhaust particles, all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. I like it. But yeah, this is great. I'm liking it so far. I'm loving this engine. I mean, I'm happy where this engine or this game is at, because I could not do this with the project. As you remember, the previous project, it used to look like it's nothing compared to how it looks like now. It's a completely improvement that I have made with my engine and with everything so far. I'm loving it so far. I'm happy. But yeah, and as I'm working on this, I'm still learning more and more about it. I'm still learning more about programming, like this passing by reference and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know that about. I didn't know that before. I just recently learned that like last week. So I was like, I know it's something I should have known, but I didn't. But I got to I know it now, so not to make that mistake again. So I fixed some of that stuff. I'm still learning a lot more stuff. So yeah. So I already talked about bullets and asteroids, rendering instance manager, particles, point lights. Point lights, yes, I talked about point lights already. And the other thing is fog. That's a different kind of that's a different kind of thing. I mean, right now fog is working. Well, it's not the best fog that I wanted it to happen. As you can see, the fog is kind of like fading away. It's not like an actual fog. It's because it's really hard doing it when it comes to space. Because when it comes to a terrain, it's a lot easier because you have mountains next to you, around surrounding you. It's so much easier to shade them to be to have fog. Or you can do another thing. You can just have like particle effect. I don't know. I was trying to figure out how to do fog. And I was looking online, and most of them were mentioning about terrains, right? Where you're within the terrain, but how would you do it when it comes to space? When it's just open space, right? And it's so hard to do it when it comes to open space, and you have nothing else but asteroids and just open space and the skybox and all that kind of stuff. So how would you draw? Fog? See, some are like lit more than others, depending on the distance. So like these over here, like it's a lot brighter. So that means it has fog. So as I get closer to it, the fog should fade away eventually. See, it's fading away now. So the attribute has fog, and the skybox has fog. So I mean, I can turn it off now. This is how it looks like without fog. It's a little bit more darker and more spacey, I guess you could call it. But now once I put fog back in, this is how it looks like. Let me go away. I have a bug in with my render instance manager when I go far away and end up looking through all my asteroids. For some reason, some get skewed and scaled tremendously, completely weird, and I'm not sure what's going on. I might have fixed it because I did something before, and I'm not sure. I haven't seen it since then, but okay, let's look back and look at all the asteroids that's creating. So I noticed more than that. So this is kind of like bugs, and now there's more spawn. So it's kind of a little bit lagging when it comes to spawning them, but this is all the asteroid. So this is how it looks like without asteroids, which looks good. It actually doesn't look that bad, does it? You can actually see the point. And the point light is in the center at 0, 0, so which is why they're all lit up here, and the outside is not. So I know that my light's working. This green over there going on. One of the NPCs is shooting an asteroid. But I'll be talking about that later. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. And then it comes to this. So yeah. Yeah, as I get closer, of course. See, I don't see that bug of some asteroid gets skewed, rendered differently. So I need to figure out what's going on, if it gets fixed at all. I don't know, but anyway. So that's what it is. Oh yeah, another thing. I updated my spatial partitioning. Actually, that's not in my list. There's still some bugs. So sometimes the collision doesn't work. Collision does not work that well with spatial partitioning yet. Sometimes it collides, sometimes it doesn't for some reason. But so like that, these guys are shooting at it for some reason and it doesn't collide. So there's some issues, either my spatial partitioning or just my collision in general. So I updated it before. I updated my spatial partitioning before I was actually creating all the cells at once and checking to see if there's any entities within that cell. So now what I updated, that was a bug actually. There was a lot of stuff going on with that. So instead what I did was that I only created a cell if there's an entity in that area. So there's a cell here and there's another cell here. If it's not within this area, he creates another cell here. So it only creates cells where he needs to, or where he needs one, which is a lot better. I mean, it makes more sense, right? Before I was creating a lot of cells, even if it didn't have any within them, and that sucked a little bit. But yeah, that's about it about fog. So I told you about fog. I mean, the other thing about fog is that I was having some issues with it, trying to figure out how to do fog. And this is the best way I could do fog. Unless you guys can figure out a better way, I'd love to hear it, because I would love to improve it. But I mean, I like it so far. It looks cool and it looks awesome. Another thing when I was looking to fog is that someone ended up using some like depth buffer kind of thing, and then depending on the pixels, it will depend on the fog. Yeah, I was able to draw the depth buffer, but I couldn't figure out how to calculate it, so I just did it this way. So it's a little bit different, but it looks cool and awesome. You know, another thing, I can actually update my let's revert my let's revert my skybox, shall we, to a different one. To the previous one. I think this skybox was like a purplish bluish one, wasn't it? Let's update it. Let's see how it looks. I want to update the color of it as well. Hold on. Where are you? Where is that class? Alright, let's update it really quick. Let's see all the skybox. So purple nebula. And I need a good color for directional and fog. Let's look online. Let me look online. Let's see what's a good purple color. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Let's see. RGB purple 0 to 1, I guess. Molescript colors. Let's see what's a good purple. Let's try this one. This looks interesting. So basically, I'm looking through all of these stuff. I think this one's good. I like this one. Let's try that one, shall we? So let's update it. Position. Oh, see this direction. Oh, directional light does not matter. The position, actually, never mind. You know what? Because I don't want to lose this color. Because I actually like the color. I probably should have a define for it. So I have that. Let's see. Also, I already have it saved up there, so it doesn't really matter. Sorry, I'm a little slow on this. I probably should be faster. Hit the Y. this Y. Let's see how it looks. Because actually, I haven't tested it out. I'm very. I don't want to be too happy because I don't know how it's gonna look. Let's build it. And let's see how it looks. So, how it's gonna look? It's gonna be so weird out. Oh man, it's so purple. Too much purple going on here. So I mean, this is Skybox. This is without fog. This universe could have like purple light or something. I don't know. This is how it used to look. I remember. I haven't used this one for a while. I have to update the fog a little bit, I guess. Oh man, that looks cool. What if I do a blue light instead? A bluish light like this. Let's try a bluish light, shall we? I need a good blue though. What could be a good bluish color? I mean, I could always just change it to a different purple color. It doesn't have to be that purple. What's a good blue color? No, not that color. Apologize, guys. Trying to figure out a good color right now. Let's try this one. It's not really bluish. It's called SGI light blue, whatever that is. Let's try that one. Let's try that one, shall we? No, I didn't want to do that. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. And let's change the last one. Okay, let's do that. This will be the last one. I don't want to bore you guys. Alright, let's see. I'm so interested in how this is gonna look. Not a fan of this one though. This is like SGI blue. Maybe you actually could tell the fog though in this one compared to the other ones. And I just gotta mess with colors, so we'll see what colors looks good with a certain universe or galaxy or whatever you want to call it. I mean, yeah. You can see the difference in fog and all that kind of stuff going on here. Okay. It's not that bad, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I always find it weird because this looks like brighter than this one's, the 1 and 2. So I'm like, wait, why does it look like that? But it's not because these two are a lot closer than these. But far away, it doesn't look like that. So it's kind of weird. But yeah, anyway. That's being dumb right now. But anyway, and the other thing, it's just a simple little thing I want to talk to you about is that I added Xbox controller on this, so I'm able to move I'm able to move the Xbox input basically, which is not a big. Actually, it wasn't that hard. Actually, it was really simple to do. So I'm not gonna be really happy about it, but I am happy anyway because I'm able to move in my Xbox. You know. But anyway, and the last thing I wanted. Well, do I want to talk about that? Yeah, NPCs. So let's go back to the game. I guess I'll go to the bluish one I just had. But so NPCs. So I have not enemy. I keep wanting to say enemies, but not really enemies because they don't attack me. I can't attack them yet because there's no collision and they don't check against me at the moment. I haven't done that functionality just yet. So I'm just they're NPCs at the moment. So let's find one. Or you know what? How am I initialize enemies here? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do functionality for it. I wanted to see if we can move with the camera instead of me. Because this is, let me see. So this is how it sets the camera, depending if it's free mode or. Well, actually, another thing I forgot. I can actually go in free mode or just follow. So basically, you can do this. Or another thing. Oh man, I'm forgetting all of this stuff. So I can go do this, or I can go in first person. This is something I completely forgot. It's been a while. I didn't put that in my list because I completely forgot about it. I think I looked into that. So I could either go in first person or and like it shoots to tell me where the purse is at, or I can just go around and just go around space, just going this in this direction. But anyway, so that's two different camera modes that I have, or three, I guess, if you call first person, I guess. Um, I want to see if I can follow the player, but I just need all of this information though. Hmm. I'm not sure if I should spend some time on doing that right now. Can I do that in universe? Because all enemies are being declared in here. I can create something cheap right now, just so I can make it work. Okay, let's try that. This is gonna be temporary, so I can see it really quick. I'll optimize it differently in the future, but um, I could name that outside. Bull. I just call it is camera following. It's a terrible name for it. But it's a terrible name for it though. But and if it's true, what's the update? If it's true, okay, I don't need that follow free mode because that's dumb. I can just use this actually. Entity get transform. Why do I have two different ones? Okay, anyways, doesn't matter. Apologize, I just wanted to show you guys what enemies do at the moment or what they're doing. Rotation wise, oh, it doesn't know about it. No, it does know about it. Why? Vector 4. Why, you tripping, bro? Is there a forward? Ah, there's another forward here. Okay, let's call it 2. Right now, I don't really care because I'm deleting it anyway. Can I get engine in here? No, I cannot get engine. Let me include my engine because that's where the camera's at. That's where the camera's at the moment. Wait, oh wait. Okay. I need to include the other one as well. Give me a second. I was trying to figure out. There's no better way of doing this, is there? I mean, I could get the forward out of this. Because all I need is the forward, though. But I need all the. Okay, whatever. Anyway, ship 3D camera, cam, engine, get camera. Oh no, wait, hold on. Oh, wrong engine. Rendering engine. Rendering engine. It's in graphics. Renderer. Rendering engine. My bad. Rendering engine. Get instance. Get camera. I need to cast as a pointer. I'm removing all of this, so it doesn't really matter. And then it's cam. And all of this should be inside this if is camera following. Oh wait, I'm trying to figure out, like, hold on, give me a second. Okay. Anyway, so this is how it's gonna be handled at the moment. Um, go back to my universe. Let's create a vector at the moment. I'm not gonna be using this anyway. This is just temporary because I don't like it and it's terrible. I should think of a better way of doing this. I already have enemy ships there. What the? Okay, that's awesome then. I don't have to create it. Am I initializing these? Yes, I am. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Okay. So, let's get input there. Let's get some input here. I don't want to. There's key hits. Keypad. Right. And temporarily, this can make it static int index equals 0 at the moment. And I'm just gonna say enemy ships of index set. Oh no, it's camera following to true. Right? Wait, actually, I gotta make sure it's the previous one gets set to false. Give me a second. So the previous one has to be set to false. Okay. I'm gonna say idx plus plus. We'll only do this if index is greater than 0 or equal to 0. IDX, where I got IDX from? And set to false. And that's about it. I mean, the other thing, it probably is gonna be a bug. Alright. Dang it. There's a lot of tweaking stuff that I probably shouldn't be doing. I apologize. Okay. Balls is using cam equals true. Once I press the right one, it should be false. Is cam is using cam equals false. Only do the camera stuff. Where's camera? Here. Is this all camera stuff, right? Yeah. So if not cam, return. I'm not highly. I know this is all temporary. I'm gonna delete all of this stuff. I'm just doing this so you guys can see in my terrible programming, like at the end spots. I'm not sure if this is even gonna work. Okay, there we go. Right now it doesn't have particles because it depends on the depending on the player. So once it's within the player's distance, it creates the particles for the enemies. Otherwise, it will not do it. So this is what they do, and then they leave. So they just roam around, and there's two different types of NPCs basically. Let's see what the other ones are doing. So there's two different types of NPCs here. One is just like passive, and one is more aggressive. And by passive, it means is just that they're just gonna roam around and not care about anything, and they can decide to attack an asteroid if they want to. You know, they can. Aggressive types are just the ones that can attack asteroids no matter what. So they just go to asteroid, they go to roaming for a little bit, and then they are like, okay, I want to attack an asteroid. You know, I want to destroy one, or I want to see how awesome it's going to be when they destroy an asteroid. So they decide to kill an asteroid, or explode an asteroid. and they're more aggressive against asteroids. So that's what they do. So yeah, there's two different types. So this is what they do. They're either just roaming around or just attacking asteroids. Like I said, the collision's a little bit weird on this. And it's weird for asteroids to be a little bit too glossy, actually. But actually, I like it. It's awesome. Right now, I just don't really care because I need a better asteroid. This is just a temporary asteroid that I'm just using. I need a better looking asteroid. So that's what I'm looking. I mean, it's not that bad either. I'm not saying it's terrible because it's not. But yeah, it's awesome. But anyway, guys, I just wanna. That's all I have to say. It's a long video because I have lot of things I have to say. I may cut some, not cut some, just parts where I'm like, it should be a little bit faster than that. Like the coding part, maybe. I don't know. I'll see. Or I just leave it in how it is now. And the only thing I failed, because I know I mentioned in the last video of this, I said I was gonna do a occlusion culling, and I did look into it. I did fail. Cause I mean I was looking into it. I was going through this oh, I didn't check for outside of bounds, did I? Okay. 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 Fine then, game. Oh, I didn't want to build it yet. I didn't want to build it. Wait, what did I do? Oh, whatever. Okay. If asteroids greater or equal to asteroids that size. I know this is terrible code, but I'm not gonna keep it, so I don't care. So in case any of you guys say anything. But anyway, so anyway, what was that? Oh, so occlusion culling base. Yeah, that's right. Cancel. So occlusion culling. So I did fail. I did was looking into some things where he mentioned that I was doing some query kind of thing, like you begin queries and all that kind of stuff. He queries all of them, and it's kind of weird trying to figure out how that works. Basically, I couldn't figure it out, and then I came up to this high Z culling kind of thing where you actually what you do was a depth buffer. You would draw a depth buffer in post processing kind of things where it just shows the depth, and you would do bitmaps of that depth buffer, and depending on the pixels and all that kind of stuff within that bitmaps and it'll determine if it's behind another entity or not. And at the time, I was fading trying to create a depth buffer. It's because my engine is a little bit weird. I'm not weird. It's just that they're being managed in a certain way, right? Like all my rendering is managed in a way already. All my entities updates and post updates and pre-app updates and all that kind of stuff already managed and being managed already in a certain way. But I mean, depth buffer has to do with rendering, so it doesn't matter with the other ones. But so my rendering is already being managed, so all my components are managed, all that kind of stuff. So adding a depth buffer, or especially just frame buffers, basically frame buffer objects, FBOs, I needed to find a way to make that work in my engine. So I had to re-update everything because they're already being managed before, and it's trying to make sure it actually is the best way to do them. It's kind of hard, especially when it is being. Because I actually probably should have thought of that ahead of time, but I actually like the way it is now because I have updated it a lot better now. But I was having trouble trying to create a depth buffer, and I couldn't create one, and it was terrible. And I was mostly especially with my planet, my tessellation with my planet that I was creating when I was trying to create a reflection on the water. I needed not a depth buffer. What did I need it? Oh no, actually that's a different thing. I apologize. Anyway, back to the depth buffer. Yeah, I was having issues with it, so I kind of failed on it. I stopped. But I did mention earlier when I was talking about fog that I eventually ended up creating a depth buffer. So I actually liked that. That's awesome. And yeah, it looks great. And now that I know how to draw a depth buffer, I can go back to it again and figure out how that works. I'm not promising anything because I don't know yet. But yeah, that's so far what I failed in my last. But at least I did try it. I got to learn a lot more stuff and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Ooh, camera. Trying to interpolate. Terrible interpolation. Ooh, okay. Anyway, but yeah, this is what my project's been so far. That's what it's been so far lately, and it's been a long road, to be honest. And I am trying to, like I said, I apologize for not putting too much because I mean I was going through some stuff lately, but I hope but I still was able to work on it the best of the way I could anyway. So yeah, I hope I don't know if you guys are still in here watching me anymore because it's 40 minutes already, and I thought it wasn't gonna be that long, but it's 40 minutes already, and if you guys still on here, that's so awesome. I love you guys. But I'm trying to do better on this project, trying to figure out what's next. Basically, I know how to rework on my I need to retouch on my enemies so they're a little bit better, and so they're able to attack if they wanted to. And if I attack them, they end up being hostile to me, all that kind of stuff. And wow, there's a lot of asteroids. It's just that they're separated too much. Oh, somebody destroyed an asteroid over there. I witnessed that. I witnessed it. But yeah. I is loving this engine so far. It looks awesome. I always wanted to create a space shooter, and I'm already happy with that. I know it's not the greatest space shooter at the yet or at all at the moment, but I'm loving where it's at right now. It still needs a little bit more optimizations because frames just jump back and forth. Maybe because I'm recording this, but it just jump from like 45 to 50 to 55, and also because I'm looking. Let me see. What if I look away? Okay. No, it's still in the same area, kinda. He jumped for a second there and then went back down again. The thing is, I need to figure out with enemies, because every time he decides to draw an enemy, he jumps, the frames drop down like crazy. But anyways, I'm already blabbering on other stuff that I shouldn't be talking about anymore. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. I apologize for being so long. I try my best to make it fast, but I have so much to talk about anyway. But yeah, I still have a lot of stuff that I gotta work on with enemies, or NPCs, I mean. But they'll eventually be enemies, or hostiles, whatever. I don't know what else I want to touch, though, or what else I need to work on. So I'll figure that out in the future. I mean, if you guys have any ideas, that would be awesome. Because, I mean, another thing I want to do, I mean, besides Asteroid, I mean, the Asteroids looks awesome. Well, not awesome, but the functionality for Asteroids is already okay, I guess. You know, you're able to shoot, they emit light. Just trying to figure out, like, what else can I do with asteroids, you know? Can asteroids be useful in this universe? And I don't know what can they do. I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to look at other videos online, trying to see what they do. I mean, then again, I also don't want to copy other people, you know? I don't want to copy other people, you know? But, I don't know, we'll see. And if you guys have any ideas what I can do with this game, it'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean, ideas is always awesome. Just know that I'm very limited with stuff. You know, with asteroids and stuff, because I'm not a modeler in any possible way. I'm not an artist either, otherwise my skybox would be so much better. And my particles, dust, that are going through me right now. I forgot to change the color of the particles for that. Anyway, I didn't even notice that. But anyway, but yeah, that's the plan that I wanted to do, guys. And like always, feedback is always awesome, guys. I love you. I love some feedback. Anything you guys want me to update or anything you want to see here would be awesome. Some ideas will be awesome as always. And if you guys are still here, you guys are awesome. And yeah, if you guys liked this video, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. You know what to do. And share with other people as well. I love for other people to see this because I don't know where this is going at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Because I actually liking this so far. And I like to keep working on it. I know I could do a lot of stuff with this engine now. Especially if I could do all of this. I know it's not the greatest thing, or because of course it needs more optimization, but it's already great where it's at. Because I couldn't do this before. But anyways, I'll end it here, guys. I don't want to make it any longer than it should have. But I'll see you guys next time. And I'm not gonna promise anything in the next month, or because I know before I was doing like every month or every week, or I don't know what it was before. But I'm not gonna promise any of that because I'm still going through some stuff at the moment. But it's not as terrible as before. But we'll see. I'm still gonna be working on it. So I'm not gonna give up on my baby, you know. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Signing out. Sayonara.